so that I can know and understand. There are so many loose ends still dangling on this. I would simply like to tie them all up so that I could know what to expect and what to tell other people. I don't think it's too much to ask. I don't blame you, Grandpa, for wanting to touch the wounds yourself, confessed Trey. Yes, well, that is exactly what I was thinking at the time, Thomas acknowledged. But hear the rest of the story. As I told you, I did get to have an encounter with the risen Lord. I had expected that he would appear to me somewhere along the road or at my home or something like that. I mean, the others had already seen him, so I figured that he would just appear to me in some private meeting. I was wrong. Jesus came to me when we were all together again. Jesus greeted all of us and then turned directly to me, offering me whatever I needed in order to experience for myself the power of the resurrection. But the truth is, I did not need to put my hands into his side. I did not need to touch the wounds in his hands. What I realized at that moment is that what is eternal is invisible. If I could touch it, it was only temporal anyway. If I could understand it, it may have been only human thought, shaped by my own prior knowledge, hemmed in by my own perspective. My thoughts are not God's thoughts. My mind is so limited in what it can comprehend. What I did understand when I was in the presence of the risen Lord was God's omnipresence, God's omnipotence, and my limited nature. What I understood in the presence of the risen Lord is the mystery of our faith. Some things cannot be explained or seen or touched, but must simply be accepted as mystery, truth that is beyond our understanding. Sometimes we must trust in God's mercy rather than our ability to figure everything out. It was a big day for you, Grandpa. But you need to know I never actually touched him. I decided I did not need to do that after all. I believe, but it was not because of what I saw or what I touched with my own hands. I believe because I experienced the mercy of God. That is the mystery in which I live and will die. The mystery of God's mercy shown to me that day. That is what I wish for you, my son. So do you mean from that time on that you've been able to trust the mystery of faith? You've never again questioned or doubted your faith in God's mercy? I just don't think I could ever be so strong in my faith. His grandson looked frustrated. Oh, of course, I have doubted both myself and God. I question my faith continually and need to renew my commitment to Jesus Christ on a daily basis. It is my nature, dear one, to doubt. Clearly, you have inherited that family trait. But do not be overly concerned. It was not my believing which brought Jesus alive in me. And my doubting did nothing to cripple Christ's return. Jesus handled my doubts with mercy. Jesus made an effort to meet me where I was and to give me what I needed in order to believe. Jesus continues to meet me where I am and to show mercy to me. In this way, Jesus fulfills the baptismal promise to claim me as God's own. I do not fully understand the how or the why of it, but I did not need anything more than an experience of Christ's mercy in order to believe. Now, I know that my telling you what I believe may not have enough impact on you. I am only telling you my story because there may be something in my story which coincides with your story. The most important thing that I can tell you is to stay with the church. Jesus came to me when the disciples were all together. He never came to me with such power when I was alone. Moreover, you need to hear the stories of Christ followers, and you need to listen to them, and they need to listen to stories. Since we're dealing with the mystery of faith, with what can never be tied into a package, we must be weary of the possibility for distortion. We need the biblical story and the stories of one another's experiences with the risen Lord in order to fully grasp our own experiences. We need the experiences of the whole church. Of course, the church will never be able to give you all the answers, but the church can help you to really see Christ and His presence in your midst. The church can help you to live in Christ's mercy and help to extend mercy to others. The church is the steward of the mysteries of God, found in 1 Corinthians 4:1. Giving a word of hope in time of distress, offering forgiveness to those who hurt us, sharing our resources with others even when we are unsure that we have enough for ourselves, seeking unity with one another in spite of our differences, proclaiming the crucified Jesus as the living Lord and God. This is the mystery of our faith. Thus I tell you my story in order to nurture your faith, that your joy might be full. Well, Thomas looked at the confusion in the eyes of his bright grandson, and he ached for him. What you need to know, son, is that I never touched him. I know I said that was the only way that I would believe, but when I got right down to it, that was not what I needed after all. What I needed was simply to recognize that I was in the presence of the Lord and my God and the recipient of grace that I could not have earned. Well, Trey sat down his cup of tea and reached out and took the hand of his grandfather. He guessed this might be as close as he was going to get to touching the mystery of the faith. Trey looked at that gnarled old hand and tried to imagine this hand touching Jesus' wounds, this hand not needing to touch Jesus. A small puddle of tears plopped onto his hands as he heard his grandfather repeat Jesus' benediction. Blessed are you who believe without seeing. Blessed are you. Let us pray.
There's no such thing as a perfect life, so long as you are broken and scarred, lift up your heart and be amazed and be changed by a perfect God. By a perfect God. Yeah. By a perfect God. Yeah. By a perfect God. By a perfect God. Be changed by a perfect God. Be changed.